The attacks on Iran, including shipping, traffic, and energy infrastructure, have pushed oil above $100 a barrel today. Iran says that could actually hit $200 a barrel if the war continues. Overnight, we found out that the Pentagon told Congress the first 6 days of the war have cost the U.S. $11.3 billion. Again, that's just the first 6 days of the war. Today is day 13. So with that in mind, we're joined by Dr. David Murphy this morning. He's a retired Air Force colonel. He's also the Dean of Behavioral and Social Sciences at Colorado Christian University. Dr. Murphy, thanks for joining us here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have heard some say, including the president, that this war should only last a few weeks. What's your take on that?
That's obviously what he wants, and that's what we want as a nation. That's the right approach. The strange thing about war is that you can never predict what's going to happen once you let slip the dogs of war, as the famous Shakespeare line goes. So that's what we want to happen. That's what the military certainly wants to happen, and that's what they're doing very professionally. Will that be able to be realized over time? That remains to be seen.
Doctor, can we talk about the troops that are fighting this war for the U.S.? Anything
Yes.
from who they are, where they may be right now, and what their day-to-day looks like?
Yeah, the troops that are fighting are really amped up right now, and it's hard to keep that for a long time. When I was there during the Afghanistan conflict after 9/11, 2001, your whole life becomes eat, sleep, mission when you're going that hard. So we definitely want to keep them in our minds. We definitely want to support them as the nation has, and I'm happy that the nation still does that. We have our own Colorado, the 7th dignified transfer was from Fort Carson. Just came home over the weekend. That's extremely sad. This is a family thing. There's people that are suffering at Fort Carson right now, family and loved ones. There's people all across your viewership right now that have loved ones deployed with our 50,000 across the Middle East. And we need to keep them in our minds. We need to keep them supporting them even as we discuss the merits of the war.
Talk a little bit more about the emotional toll that this is taking on the troops and, of course, the families.
Yes, so it is really hard on a family to be left behind. I'm in a unique situation where I was married to a service member, and I retired before she did. So I saw both sides of that coin. I was the one that was gone sometimes, and she was the one that was gone, and I was doing Mr. Mom duties, as it were, when she was gone. And frankly, in many ways, it's harder on those that are left behind because they still have the grind of everyday life. When you're deployed, it is hard, it is lonely, but you get into, you're so focused on the mission that it becomes almost a singular existence. It can be scary, of course, it can be confusing, but our leadership in the military is so good, and our service men and women have such confidence that they'll be victorious, that it is something that as long as the war keeps going well, they're going to be all in on it.
There is a debate right now. Our viewership is split on this topic, whether or not the Trump administration has a clear objective when it comes to this war. Can we get your thoughts on that?
They laid out 4 very specific objectives at the beginning of the war, okay? You know what those are: to degrade the missile capability, to degrade the nuclear capability, to degrade their export of terrorism, and to remove the initial leadership of the regime. Now, what happens and what can be tempting is sometimes that can turn into mission creep, and you start to hear that now. Maybe picking leaders in Iran is going to be very, very difficult to do remotely. However, saying that, we're in better shape now. We'll be in better shape after this war than we were before. We were in a 47-year conflict with Iran. A lot of people don't think of it that way. Clausewitz has a very famous comment we all know, which is war is a continuation of policy by other means. It was necessary, and the conditions were right because of what's happened in the Middle East since the October 7th attacks, that Trump decided to do this now. So at least we will degrade their capacity to export terrorism and to export nuclear or to gain nuclear weapons for the next decade or more, we hope. At best, we'll see a new freedom for the people in Iran that we all hope gain a liberty that we all want them to have.
Dr. Murphy, first of all, thank you so much for your service and your wife's service. You obviously have a different perspective on the war than a lot of other people. Some people get it, mainly just from social media or media. What do you want people to know about this war maybe that they haven't thought about?
I want them to know that it is a just war because of the reason I just said. I was at Khobar Towers right before it was bombed. Our unit left before that, but we had 19 American servicemen killed there. And that's just one in a long string of attacks by the Iranian regime. And so you can't let this go on forever while they build up a conventional capacity that allows them to gain nuclear weapons and then just hold the whole world, starting at the Middle East and Israel, at hostage. So that's number one. It's very important that people realize how necessary this is. But it's also important to realize that the outcome's not always certain. We do support Israel. It's not the reason we went to war, but Israel is one of our most stalwart partners in the Middle East and around the whole world. We just had a whole support week at Colorado Christian University for Israel and for the cause and for the peace of Israel, which is what we all want in the Middle East. So that's what we hope for. That's what we aim for. We'll see how it all rolls out over time. War is unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. David Murphy, again, a retired Air Force colonel. We really do thank you for coming on here with us this morning.
Thank you.
Time for a quick